Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to Forgotten Weapons. I'm Ian McCollum, and I am very excited to be able to announce today that I am going to be leading a battlefield tour of World War I in Belgium and France, mostly France, next year in September of 2019. That's, in fact, almost this year since we're just around the corner from the new year. Specifically, it will be September 7 through September 15. We're going to actually fly. We're going to start in Brussels. You are responsible for getting yourself to Brussels. And then we're going to follow the progress of World War I chronologically through the entire war. And the reason that we're doing it this way is I think a lot of people, when they think about World War I, what people kind of like just figure they know is, well, Archduke Ferdinand got shot, and then there were a lot of trenches and some artillery, and then the Allies won, probably because America came into the war. That's like the standard, especially the standard American view of World War I, right? Well, and I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize this, there's so much more dynamicism to World War I. Both sides were constantly evolving and developing new tactics, but they were both doing so at the same rate. And if you just gloss over it on the surface, it looks like just a plain stalemate for a couple years, when in fact there were constant developments back and forth. And that's what we are going to be looking at. So the basic setup of the tour, like I said, we're going to start in Belgium, and we're going to follow the Battle of the Frontiers, that rapid, fast-paced, moving war that actually began in 1914, down through Belgium and into France. We're going to stop at some forts. We're going to stop at Liège. We're going to end up in Ypres, and the second day we're going to spend in Ypres, which is a little bit of an anachronism. There was fighting in Ypres basically throughout the entire war. That was one of the scenes of stalemate. Neither side was able to advance on the other to any significant margin. So some of the fighting there is indicative of, well, almost any part of the war. But we're going to go there to look at it as sort of the initial stagnation in the development of trench war. The next day is going to be spent at the Somme, which is one of the two, there are really two definitive battles of 1916. One of them is the Somme, which was primarily British, and so we're going to be there on our third day. We're going to look at mine craters, we're going to look at, the whole overarching view of the Somme as a battle, and then we're going to spend the next day at Verdun, which is the other major battle of 1916, predominantly French. We're going to look at forts, we're going to look at the ossuary, we're going to go to a bunch of very interesting places regarding the Verdun battlefield. The next day we're going to spend in the Chemin des Dames, looking at the Nivelle offensives. The French came out of Verdun thinking that they had finally cracked the code of how to defeat the Germans, and they launched a massive new offensive in 1917, which failed tremendously and led to the French mutinies in 1917. We're going to look at that both on the French side and the German side. And then our sixth day, we're going to spend, we're going to call this the 1918 day. We're going to look primarily at the American influence of the war. We're going to go to the Meuse-Argonne, we're going to go to Belleau Wood, and we're going to see the impact that the American armies had as this last kind of final push that ended up defeating Germany. So after that, we're going to return to Paris. If you want to spend some extra time in Paris, that is certainly an open option, and I would strongly recommend it. I should go back a little bit. This tour is not just me and a bunch of you guys on a bus. This is actually being organized and run by a company called Military History Tours. They have been doing this sort of thing since 1987, so more than 30 years now. Every year they do a wide variety of tours, including World War I, World War II, both in the Pacific and in the European theater. They do Korean War tours, they do Vietnam, they do all manner of military tours around the world. So they have tremendous amounts of experience in this area, doing the logistics, doing the planning. The cost of the tour is $33.75 per person, and that's based on two people sharing a double room. You can get a room to yourself for an extra charge if you would like it. And that covers all of our tickets, all of our entrance fees, all of our lodging, all of our transportation. It covers about half of the meals. There are some meals that we are on our own for, and some that the tour is paying for. I had the chance to go on one of military history tours, World War I tour, specifically a tour following the AEF, just the Americans in World War I last year, and had a tremendous time. And it was that we got all excited thinking about a collaborative effort we could do, and that's what led to this. So I have a link in the description to the specific tour page over on Military History Tours website. That's miltours.com. That has the complete itinerary. You can sign up and reserve a space now. I have no doubt that this is going to sell out. We have a limited number of spaces in it, of course. We have one tour bus that we're going to be running. So once that fills up, that's over. And that's all the space that we have for this year. So when you sign up, make sure to include a note on your order form that Ian sent you, because they want to keep track of how many of you guys come from over here rather than just from their regular traffic. I am suspecting you guys can just completely basically dominate this tour if you want to. And it would be really fun to have a bunch of you guys on the tour with me. I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to see some fascinating sites, especially for those of you who haven't had a chance to visit any World War I battlefields before. I think this will be an amazing introduction to the whole war, and in a way that hopefully has a lot more depth to it than the typical tourist view. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. Remember, the link to sign up for the tour is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with another Forgotten Weapon.